Lord, I'm thankful for the room and board. But maybe it's best I stay somewhere else. What if people get the wrong idea?
You'll meet a lot of tongue-wagging gossips in this town. Try not to take them too seriously.
Well met. It depends. I've been taught that emotions are a powerful part of smithing. When I craft a shield, I think of the soldier's child praying for a safe return. For a sword, I envision a man getting revenge for a brother's death. When I imagine a soldier marching after battle, or a hero vanquishing a great evil, that's when my hammer feels most inspired. Just to know that I was a part of that it was my steel, it just takes your breath away thinking about it. Not just any family. Ever heard of the Starblood Forge? My family has been the caretaker of it for centuries. It was made not long after the Oblivion Crisis, and next to the old memorial and the hero statue, it's one of the most iconic landmarks in Kvatch. They say it was built atop a well of Daedric blood, and it's in that well that the weapons are cooled. Some even say that the forge itself is haunted, specifically with the soul of one of my ancestors. Legend has it that when the Daedra invaded, she refused to leave her shop, smithing weapons for the townsfolk until the last man had fallen. That's why only those who share her blood can use the forge, and tradition that the firstborn daughter would be the one to inherit it. That would be me. It's an honor, I suppose. I know. Some people think it's the pressure or the burden of carrying on the family name, but the truth is, it's the clients. It's not like the Skyforge here. If I took over the family business, I would be crafting swords for nobles. They would be decorative art pieces, locked away in display cases, or mounted over their beds. I would be an artist more than a blacksmith. There'd be no blood on my blades, no chinks in my armor. That's not what I want. I want to craft weapons for heroes. I want to forge weapons that will slay tyrants and craft armor that repels dragonfire. A man's worth isn't measured in gold, and there's a difference between what you call a reward and what I consider rewarding. When a guard comes to me and tells me my armor is stopped an arrow inches from his heart, or that my mace split a troll skull with a single bludgeon, it fills me with a warmth that no amount of gold can replicate. I probably shouldn't have used the word haunted. It's not like that at all. She's more of a guardian spirit. When it comes time for me to inherit the forge, there's a ritual. A test, actually. Like my mother before me, and my grandmother before her, I must craft an object that best represents my ideals and spirit. If the object is deemed worthy, it will earn its place in the Underforge, alongside the blades, shields and hammers of my ancestors. That's sort of what this pilgrimage is about. I'm here not just to learn from the masters, but to learn about myself. At least, that's what I told my mother. The truth is, I chose Skyrim because of the war, and the chance to forge for true warriors. You know your history. Fact is, they took a lot of cities, Kvatch included. But my mother says they never would have held it. To hear her tell it, we would have taken Kvatch back, if not for the Concordant, and her blades would have killed a whole lot of Talmor. Still, the treaty did give us our home back. And if there's one thing the people of Kvatch know, it's how to rebuild. The responsibility of the forge would likely go to the next daughter in line, my sister Felicia. A fine choice. She has always been the more creative smith. Diamond-encrusted pommels, hilts that shimmered like drake scales. Everything she made was beautiful. And it wouldn't matter that the blades couldn't cut warm butter. Nobody would ever use them for battle. Alright, It's alright. Although we've gotten a lot less visitors after the dragon attacked Helgen. That's what I enjoyed most. Meeting all the travellers who crossed the border from Cyrodiil and sharing stories of home. But now you're here, and I can tell just by looking at your hands that you've got stories to tell. You don't say! And by the looks of it, you managed to keep your wits about you. Impressive. I probably would have been staring at it. No, not just staring. I'd be completely awestruck. I mean, a dragon. A fairy tale come to life. That's what I'd be thinking right before it turned me to roast. Which is why you're an adventurer and I'm a blacksmith. Of course. I wouldn't be a very good blacksmith if I turned down requests, especially from a true hero. Just tell me what kind of metal and I'll take care of it. You mean Elisif? I'm not keen on making weapons for figureheads. I'd much rather make a weapon for General Tullius. Although there's been talk of another, a child descended from Ysgramor himself. I wonder how you could even prove that. Do you mean like witchcraft? I'm a smith, not a hagraven. Now if you want me to quench the axe in blood, that I've done. In fact, you're the third person to ask me that in this week. I'll tell you what I told the others. The forge in Kvatch is special, and it isn't just for blood. Two Nords could have easily been brothers, come separately though, so they couldn't have known each other. One of them dropped her name a couple times to point out the urgency of his quest. Maybe he was trying to impress me as well. Don't know. One of them was a charming Nord, but not the sharing type. The other one, he was the opposite. He told me all sorts of tales about a child of destiny and an axe to slay a legendary beast. Of course I ate up every word. But at the same time, I don't know about forging weapons for anyone but the Empire. Aye, he must think the legends and the names will be enough. Ysgramor's, and maybe even yours. I can't say I disagree. To explain that, I need to explain a bit about smithing. See, when you quench a blade, you can't just use water or brine. You need to add a bit of oil to keep the thin sections from cracking, because otherwise the steam will get between the water and the blade. That makes for an uneven quench. Of course, if your well is big enough, it'll make sure the liquid stays in contact regardless. But I'm guessing we'll only have so much blood to work with. In that case, we need to brew a special oil, one that doesn't contaminate the liquid. Aye, I'm considering it. It's always been my dream to forge great weapons like this. I've actually got everything I need, with the exception of one thing. I need a bit of blood grass shipped from home. That's where the oil comes from. The problem is, the East Empire Company's been through a bit of a rough patch lately, and it's hard to get rare goods. Maybe you could talk to my contact Cyrus over in Windhelm, and see if he can't get it shipped sooner. May your shield be stout, and your sword steady.
Yes, yes. What do you want? You seem like an impatient person. I don't think you understand the importance of procedure. When Isabel's last courier came by, I did as he asked, and requested the cargo be sent last week. When the ship was attacked by pirates, I did exactly what it says in the company manual, Section 1A of Chapter 12, page 143. I hired an adventurer. I don't know. He was a Nordman by the name of Larsden. He was traveling with an Imperial, either a bodyguard or another friend of Isabel's. Well, of course not. I'm still developing it. It's an idea that came to me while watching some of my fellow employees bumble about whenever there was an emergency. I thought, what if we had a guide that prevented these fools from having to think? It would account for every scenario and plan every contingency. Ha ha, very funny. The manual is thick enough as it is without having to account for lies told by sailors who got drunk and sailed to the wrong port. In fact, I would say that its main weakness is that workers may have trouble finding the relevant instructions. That's what the bibliography is for. Yes, yes. What do you want? What are you? Some kind of philosopher? I don't have time for this. I'm waiting for that Nord to return with my shipment. That's what it says in the company manual, Section 1A of Chapter 12 on page 143. When pirates steal your cargo, hire an adventurer. I have a preference for things going right. When people fail to follow procedure, shipments get delayed. When shipments get delayed, it alters our schedule. When our schedule is constantly changing, it cripples our ability to plan ahead. People will call it bureaucracy, but there's a reason why we are the most reliable shipping company in all of Tamriel. I am perfectly capable of adapting. Just because an alchemist knows how to cure his corns, doesn't mean he should walk around on bare feet. Of course. Even if he's dead, it's likely he took a few of those pirates with him. So you see, suddenly the cost of stealing our cargo has gone up. It's more trouble than it's worth. Which means they're going to fence it soon. We just have to find this person and eliminate him. Except it will be in the manual, depending on the success of this mission. You see, I have a source in the black market. He also happens to be a dark elf, and every week he goes to pray over by Refugees' Rest. Now one day, he says he came across a curious thing. One of the cairns had an iron dagger stuck in the snow beside it. Even more curious is the fact that the very next day, the black market was bustling with fresh cargo. No, you idiot. If you kill him, you will be killing our only lead. And I have a feeling the dagger will lead us to both the pirate and the fence. meaning they meet whenever either of them places it in the snow. You will have to play it by ear. If the meet is somewhere private, feel free to kill them so long as you find out the drop location. If it's somewhere public, then your only job is to find out where the cargo is and retrieve it. That's your priority. Good. Here's the dagger. If you'll notice, the hilt is chipped. That's how you will know it's the one you left at the cairn, in case you lose track of him in a crowd. But please, try not to be seen.
Our hero claims a warrior's hat.
I tell you, the Dragonborn comes.
With the voice wielding power of the ancient Nord. But
Believe us. The Dragonborn comes.
Добро пожаловать. Дай мне знать, если тебе что-нибудь нужно. Где-то у меня была чистая кружка.
Тут кто-нибудь есть? Конечно.
Тупая псина.
Тут кто-нибудь есть?
Конечно.
You did? I mean, of course you did. It all went according to the manual, Section 1B of Chapter 12, on how to deal with pirates. I trust you have everything you need then. The grass should be well dried, just as Isabel asked. Apparently that's how you fit more into an alembic. I suppose I should also offer you a reward for helping this transaction move along. My manual? I'm afraid that's only for employees of the East Empire Trading Company. Although I do have this page of notes on mercenary work. Maybe you might find it useful. Here, and thanks.
Whatever happened to that young lad who used to come here to get his weapon sharpened?
I don't know.
I noticed your horse seemed to
Falkreath's
favour one
warriors
foot.
always return.
You should let me
one
make
way
him
or
some
another.
proper shoes, keep him from getting injured on these cobbled roads. Being a true hero, I take it you would have run all the way to Kvatch if you had to. Hopefully it was a little easier than that. I guess all that's left now is to forge the axe. Have you gotten word from your friends?
Я с тобой не справился.
It does seem odd the Lord would just disappear. Maybe you can follow some of your other leads and find out what happened.
Тебя не победить.
When you do find him, tell him I'll do it. I'll forge the axe. And when it's done, no beast, dragon or otherwise will be a match for its edge.